Alright, hey guys, I'm Matt Lighty, and this is I guess like a diary type mini-series thing for my character in Last Epoch. I did this for the last Chthonic Fissure one in the previous season, and I'm playing this season. I started a couple days late, but so far I'm having a great time, and I picked a Primalist Shaman because I never played one. So I was pretty much after like one day of play. I'm barely into monoliths, I'm on like the second set of the basic ones. I'm just kind of, getting the jive of things. But I figured I'd talk briefly about what the character is, and then like, what's going on. I'm currently doing this one, the Stolen Lance. Then I'm gonna move on to the next one. After I go through all of them, I'll crank it up to the Empowered, and then that'll be like that. So, yeah, I said I'm being a Primalist. If you're wondering why my head looks like a shark, it's because there was some sort of MTX, Shift M. Nope. What is it? Where is it? It's in here. Shop. There was an MTX for helmets that made your head look like a shark. I also saw this little frog thing. That's kind of cool, but then the trypophobia on the back is a bit cursed. Anyway, yeah, I look like the shark from Street Sharks. I don't remember which one. We could look it up together real quick. Alright, so it's definitely the bottom one. Who's the blue one? Street Sharks were so fucking cool. Okay, so Streaks. That was the one I liked. Well, I liked Big Slamoo, which was funny because it's like a pun on Shamu, but he's a whale shark, but for some reason it's Slamoo. There's also Moby Lick. These are great. Yeah, definitely watch Street Sharks if you haven't. They're sharks that like roller skate and do cool street activities. Anyway, that's what I look like. Okay, so the build I wanted to do, initially, I totally threw out and was just kind of totally winging it like I often do. So, I've been doing Thorn totems, and that's what that looks like. I got a bunch of stuff that augments the Thorn totems, but I got a wolf that helps me out. I use a couple companions. I use 2 wolves, and I use 2 birds. Alright, and the wolves basically do nothing but howl, which is what I want them to do. So like when they kill things, or when I kill things, or when they hit things, or stuff happens, they howl. And then howling is a nice little buff that gives us attack speed, and yeah, it has it so like the howl, just happens periodically. So that's the main thing with the wolves, that they just howl. And then the birds, their main thing is they periodically buff my totems, but that's like unimportant. The real main thing is the good berries. So every time somebody gets low, including myself, like they'll swoop in and heal us and then give us ward. And it just happens pretty frequently. So they're just swooping around giving us berries, and that's what they do. So the crows kind of keep us alive. The leap, there's not like a lot going on with the leap. I use a movement skill, and leap in this game is really good. So like, you go super fucking far with the leap. I'm taking a sip of coffee, hold on. Oh, that's good today. Alright. The leap is just great. And as a movement skill, I got the cooldown reduced, and I had this really sick thing that when I leap, it heals me and my minions, which is like not a negligible amount. 150 is a little bit. I've got 1,000 life, right? But this part's the extra one. When I land, I cleanse all ailments on me and my minions, which is really nice. That one's really good. And then there's also, you're immune to damage while leaping. So say like a big boss ability's happening, and I can't avoid it, for like a AoE arena-wide, right? Well, if I leap from here to here, that's like over a second of in the air time where I'm just immune. That's a second of iframes. And I tested it, and it does work. Just out of curiosity. So, that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's what that does. I got extra points to put into something here. I don't even know what the fuck I'm putting. And yeah, the dogs just do dog things. They aren't really doing a whole lot at this point. They're mostly just staying alive. I can make it so they can't be stunned. Maybe you're working towards something else. I don't know. I get like so many extra points. I'm like indecisive on what I want to put points into. I feel like most of these things don't do a whole lot. But, yeah, dogs are cool. They're stun immune. And then, so the bread and butter is my Thorn totems. These are great. I use these a lot for thorning around. mostly just for like, it's just damage, AoE, and clear. And what they do is they just shoot spikes out, and they have it so they shoot singular spikes that are more accurate and do more damage against bosses, and they pierce. But then the big one is I work towards Grove Mind, so TLDR is I summon my totems now all at once in a circle. It's like multi-totem in PoE. You can see my birds are buffing the shit out of that totem. And yeah, so that's what my little totems do. They just they shoot spikes out. And then I got this really funny thing with Storm Totem. Alright? Now, Storm Totem's extra goofy, but it's also extra funny, which is great. It's goofy and it's funny. This just does a ton of damage. A huge lightning storm does a ton of damage. However, there's a caveat here, and that is when you get Thunder Totem, so normally it looks like this, but it's still really good. A little dinky boy, but really good, okay? My crows are praying towards it. Funny thing happens though. If you summon it after summoning other totems, it gobbles up them up to 5, which is perfect because I got 5, and makes a bigger boy. And the bigger boy has a blizzard around it, and it's all frenzied, and the crows are buffing the shit out of it. This thing totally wrecks things. It's basically screen-wide, almost 2 screen-wide destruction of everything's dead in its path. So the kind of pattern I have is if I'm clearing a map, is I walk, I place these after a couple seconds, I place one of these after a couple seconds, I place one of these after a couple seconds, I place one of these, and my mana's fine. You can see I had to spec into these things of mana reduction, but assuming you get better gear, you could probably drop those, but I don't have better gear. I've got shitter gear. None of the gear I don't think I have is what I would use eventually. The doublet of Onus Tull is actually pretty hot. The minions having chance to bleed on hit actually stacks up super fucking fast when you have 5 of these attacking at one time. So that's like supplemental damage at the moment. I'm not scaling into bleeds, so that's kind of whatever. Everything else doesn't really do a whole lot. Like, I'm wearing this ring because it gives +2 minion skills. And this hat gives +1 minion skills, right? And +1 max companions. So I could summon... should be able to summon an extra bird or something, right? No, I guess not. Anyway, this... I could see, like, this maybe being something I use eventually, because it gives more minion skills. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen any... I haven't looked at uniques yet, or, like, legendaries or whatever. And then to see if any of them are, like, gonna be my best in slots or whatever. For idols, the totem damage seems like a no-brainer for a suffix, and I'm not really sure what prefix I would want. The whole league thing or whatever is about like Weaver stuff, so you can like extra augment things and like these Weaver items that gotta just have extra rolls. But honestly, half of the gear I'm wearing probably has like half of its dead stats. Like half of its dead stats. Like I want to scale minion stuff and attunement. I just don't have much, but that's fine. Also, when I hit spacebar, summon a crab. That one's named as Horton. Sometimes you get a crab named Squat Lobster, which is good. That's Cromer. Horton again. Sheringham. Blue crab. Purple crab. That one's a little bit on the nose. Sheringham again. Yeah, you could just keep doing this. So this is just a ring I have that just says my evade is replaced with a crab. Again, this really doesn't do much. Pat. That's Pat. Say hi to Pat, guys. But yeah, and then what else is there in this game? Passives. So I went 26 points into base Primalist, which might be a little bit much, but this last thing is really nice. So I grabbed a lot of these bread and butter points are like super good, where it's just like res and stat. So I grabbed that for attunement. This one's strength and life regen. It's less important. This one's nice. It's just minion damage, and then my pots heal my minions. This one gives me minion spell damage, so that's good. I had to put 1 point into this. Tripled when using an axe, so maybe I'll use an axe eventually, and then that becomes pretty irrelevant. But I'm not, so I didn't bother. But then this one says totems are immune to poison damage, which I just thought was nice to have. And nothing else here seems super relevant, so I don't really bother. I don't use a Terror's Blessing or Warcry or Serpent Strike. I'm not really in the business of clicking buttons, so if there's a way to automate stuff, and I'm sure half my shit will change, I'll do that. And then the Shaman section, I put some points in a 2-minute pen. There's totem defense stuff and nana, totem attack speed, totem damage. This one's great. It's just damage. This one's totem increased attack and cast, and then I have a chance to gain haste when I put a totem down, which is just more movement speed, so that's nice. This is spell damage. This one is attunement, and it also gives you mana regen, which is great. Mana regen per 1 point of attunement's huge. This is chance to Stormbolt on spell cast, which is not often, but when I cast my totems, it's a spell. But eventually you get this one, which is increased AoE for the totems gain the AoE. So that one's nice. I want to get the storm bigger, and then, you know, well, I don't really know if that's good or not. But I'm not sure if I'll dip into Beastmaster. See, like, Beastmaster surely has minion stuff, and totems count as minions, but they're mostly melee nodes, so I'm not really sure how good they are. Like, minion attack speed seems good. But like all the physical stuff doesn't really seem super great. And then the druid one also has some stuff. This one says minions have additional armor, so maybe like just points in that, or like, you know, increased healing or something for minions. You know, there's like attunement's also good, and plus all tributes. Like, so I have tons of points. I'm very low level, so but yeah. Okay, that's enough talk. I think we'll do like a thing, and then we'll do a thing, and then we'll see what's up. I think I'm going to get over there, so I guess I'll just go this way, then across. Maybe we'll do 2 things. You can see the gameplay loop in all its entirety. But yeah, I'm like, don't really die too often, if at all. I think I've died once. You can see the totems, so like these are like my lesser totems as far as doing whatever, because my big one's this bad boy. And again, this AoE is like tremendous. You can see it striking things from quite far away. But even my little totems, you can see the bleed stack 70, 80, 90, you know, they just go. So that does a lot in itself. I'm not really sure, like I got a filter, but like I did not put forth any effort into really figuring out what the fuck I want or where. So I have to probably take some time and go through that. Just when it comes to like, you know, identifying what things I want and why. So that'll be like next session probably. I'll upgrade my filter. But yeah, it's pretty chill. If you like playing totem type builds, you know. Just place my stuff when I walk around. If you want to place both, it will obliterate a boss. Like, it'll kill it in one sitting. Something's hidden. But why is something hidden? Moreover, how is something hidden? It must be for a different class. How do I show? Control F. So if I toggle on... Yeah, so it's an acolyte. So I'm playing solo character found, right? So I'm never gonna use... I'll never be able to use that, which is why it's a thing. But yeah. So that'll be the end of this map. So I would just move onward and upwards. The next one had some sort of weavery thing, but I kept... Well, this I think I misclicked that. This I kept because it had summoned Thorn totems, and it rolled with the companion thing. So, like, would I want to keep this to use? Like, probably not, but eventually. Yeah. Anyway, try to keep those for, like, the Thorn totem shards and such, but I'll work on gear when the time comes. But let's do one more to show you what it's like, just to give you an idea, if it wasn't obvious enough. Pretty chill, though. Here's a Nemesis thing. I could swap a unique in, but I don't have one, so we're just gonna empower. Impossible. That was a baby storm totem. It'll still be killed. Alright, we're going. My Weaver upgrades. So here's like 2 of the champion things. So there's, I'll place my totems. They'll just die though. You'll even see, like, my totems won't die either. They're quite robust. What a relic. Marama's Hilt. It does curse stuff and harvest stuff. Well, I don't do either. I gotta just, like, hide rares or something. Use my portal. Alright, well, that's done. Yeah, mapping's... it's just, like, so fluid to do monoliths in this game. Just sit here for fucking hours doing it. I love it. This is the Weaver tree. This is like the big mechanic for the thing. It's a you know, kind of like an Atlas Passive tree if it was much more simple, but yeah. So what I'm putting points into is I put points into. They have a chance to spawn champions, which are just like the bigger dudes. So I just figured more rares is better. Blocking. This blocks beacons from spawning, which is good. I don't like them. This blocks arenas, which I don't like, so that's good. And then this gives me favor caches sometimes. Are kind of cool, but I'm picking up all this lizard stuff, so I'm gonna go in here and grab just all of these lizard nodes because these are like loot goblins, and I don't know, it just seems fun. So I'm gonna pick that up, and I haven't really heard anything about them, but yeah, it just I liked fighting them, so that's that. And then I could spend these points somewhere. But yeah, I'm just scratching the surface of the season, so next episode or update diary thing, we'll have more stuff, and then we'll talk more then. But yeah, I'm Mathew Lighty. I'm gonna go stream this game now in like an hour, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.